can't lose. No, we can't lose.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Gambling gods, fickle bunch. Oh yeah, so easily
We
affected.
have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9, place 9. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
They bet on absolutely anything. Don't make them prove it.
I finished up. I don't have any total. I mean, the tournament as a whole, I don't have complete numbers on because I just bet so many games.
You're tuned in to Gambling with Good Juju.
Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Corbie, I am the man who's been talking to you over the last 2 years. My name's Peter, CBB Junkie on Twitter. I'm the one who purchased access to your Discord. I'm the one who's followed you for 2 years and has told these two lovely gentlemen a little bit more about the success I've had tailing you. So your interaction back and forth with me, I'm technically the host of Gambling with Good Juju. We're all contributors and we're all just looking kind of to have a good time as you've kind of grown to understand from the content we put out there already. Just so you know, in addition to me, this is RJ/Ryan over on my right.
At Real Juicy on Twitter. Thank you.
At Real Juicy on Twitter. He's the brains behind the logo that you see for Gambling with Good Juju. He's also he's you from a gambling perspective. He's anti-parlay, anti-fun, all straight wagers, sucking out as many dollars as he can. On the flip side of us here is Kurt, and he's the everyman. He's the gambling 20 plus units a day on everything you can possibly think of, getting outrageously high and outrageously low based on the performance of his bets, unreasonably both happy and sad every single day. So he's our everyman. And the three of us, we make up the Good Juju Bets account and the Good Juju podcast that we just recently started. And so we're excited to have you on the show today. For everyone who's listening in today, this is Corbie Craig. He leads up the KeepBetting team. He has a very active Discord that we're a member of and that we have quite a bit of praise for, I would say. Right, boys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we're excited to have you on today. The purpose of today, for everyone who's curious, we want to walk a little bit and just get to know you better as a person, talk a little bit about the Discord and how you built it, and then get a better understanding of some of the stuff you were talking about. Obviously, if you have questions for us, anything you want to discuss, we're open to having that conversation. But I did want to start off talking about a topic I'm sure everyone's going to care about. Are you or are you not a Birmingham Bulls fan?
I've been to a Bulls game. It's actually funny. I've only been to one. I would say probably not. If I had to distinguish, I went to watch fighting because that's what you do in lower level hockey, and there was no fighting, so they lost my interest after one game.
So your Birmingham Bulls are going to the SPHL Championship Series in their league, and they play in the same league as the Peoria Rivermen. We're airing from right now live in central Peoria, Illinois. I was at the Peoria Rivermen game on Sunday, hoping beyond hope that they would win, Birmingham would win, and I would come into this meeting today talking all kinds of trash to someone about a league he cares nothing about. Unfortunately, we gave up a goal 15 seconds in. We were down 3-0 at the end of the first period, and we lost. So I don't get to do that, and it turns out you don't care anyway.
Until we can bet on it.
Yeah, until we can bet on it, I don't care. But the gym I go to, there's a guy who's on the Birmingham Bulls, and he brings his hockey stick and he like ties a resistance band to it and like practices. I'm like, man, listen, I don't know how serious the Birmingham Bulls are, but it's not that serious.
Well, I can't imagine Birmingham's the best market for minor league hockey.
No, it's
those Southeast teams. I'm not sure about
it's
that.
held in like a outskirts cities civic center. Like it's not even in Birmingham. It's probably 35 minutes south of Birmingham in Pelham.
Oh my gosh.
And so like I think it's like a normal skating rink during the week, and then the Bulls play there as well. So It's
That's
not
funny.
anything serious by any means.
That's the best sports option we have in Peoria.
The
Is the same team from the same league.
We got the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, Bradley Braves.
All right, guys. All right. So then tell me, if you're not a Birmingham Bulls fan, what teams do kind of get your heart pumping?
Really, I mean, y'all talked to me and interacted enough. I really don't care about sports other than one team, and it's the UAB Blazers. Now listen, I get the heartstrings going for the Blazers, but anything else, I mean, really nothing. You could toss around some NBA teams. I'm more of just like a players guy. Love Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to see the video version of this, but I haven't posted this anywhere, but I got this sucker the other day.
Oh, that is very nice.
Whoa.
And so
This is our collectibles guy right here.
that is my,
I do the
that is my
collectibles,
base. Oh, nice.
so I appreciate
yeah.
that, all that stuff.
I got sent that the other day, and it's sitting on my desk, so it shows how much I've paid attention to it. But I would say probably the Blazers. And people say it's biased, but I just really like what Andy Kennedy's built. Like, it's just a really cool story. I really don't think that I even like UAB relative. Like, I mean, y'all seen it in football season. Like, I don't bet UAB football for fun. I really thought Andy Kennedy was a great fit for that program. It's been fun to watch. Like, we filled the stadium. It's like the 50th home strength of schedule or home court advantage in the nation. And like Birmingham is nothing. There's no reason that that's the case. And yet people show out. So people enjoy the Blazers for some reason.
Are you a season ticket holder?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got floor seats for the first time. This was like the first year. It was like my, if y'all keep up with Drake in Toronto, it was like my Drake Toronto reference. I was like, I would just work, and then I would go to the gym and I would show up, sit courtside, just like whatever I was wearing at the time. Like, just think like everybody's dressed up, suit and tie, come in some sweatpants. I was like, yeah, this is I was like, no big deal. Courtside, they're like $400. It's like something that's like, it was cheaper to do that than it would have been just like buy tickets for a month or something. And it is my escape from reality, is just go watch basketball whenever I want. Those kids are so young. Like, it's funny because like y'all have seen, I've like bet information into those small markets, but like those kids can hear you courtside. They are college kids who are not going to make it to the professionals by any means. So like they DM me, I know the guys on the team because I'm sitting courtside. So it's like, it becomes advantageous just to like be able to enjoy that in your like young 20s. Like, I don't think 30-year-old me is going to be sitting courtside at the UAB game by any means. At least I hope not. If so, then I made some wrong choices in the next 4 or 5 years.
No, I think that's awesome to be we know a friend who's leads the NIL collective for Bradley University, and he has like his own special like seats right by the side of the court in an almost awkward position
It's a
relative
little
to
awkward
anyone
looking.
else. Like, he's like a king on a throne sitting there just because he leads their NIL collective. So I get it.
Bradley will take it however they can get it, I would assume.
They're doing okay. I
They're
mean,
doing
you
okay.
bet on them a few times. You know what's going on.
Oh yeah, they're a good basketball team, but I can't imagine that there's a really big just like dying and crying for people to pay for their season tickets.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it used to be big.
Used to-
Bradley basketball used to be huge
Yeah,
back Anthony Parker days.
sure. Or all the way back to Hershey Hawkins. But now
Yeah.
we're basically, with the transfer protocol, it's basically a feeder program, it feels like recently. So that's unfortunate.
Every school's
Yeah,
a
that's-
feeder program.
Exactly.
I was about to say, that's going to
feeder
be every
program,
school at this
yeah.
point.
You had mentioned during your About You interview that you played high school basketball. Tell me about your game. I got to know.
I did. When you told me you looked up my About Me, I forgot we did that. So I actually have a story about the About Me, but I'll go to basketball first. I played basketball. You probably can tell in the video a little bit, but I'm taller than most. I'm 6'4", like 230 at this point. But I was 5'6", and then my junior year I was 6'4". So it's just like a over the summer, high school kid, and I refused to not play point guard. So I was 6'4" point guard, which in high school basketball, if you know anything about basketball, becomes really easy. Like no one can stand in front of you. So it just is. I can't shoot the ball. Like I would say my career free throw shooting is probably less than 60. But when you're 6'4" and you can dribble a basketball, like what can a high school kid do? They don't know how to help or rotate or go off screens or anything. And we had a 7-foot center at the time. He went and played college basketball. So that made it really easy. Like you get a screen and roll from a 7-footer, you're 6'4" and you're in high school. Like I was well aware that I would never do anything with it, but it was fun picking on kids. And I went to a school in Alabama, probably an hour north of Birmingham, that just is as small as you can get. I don't even think our city has a red light. And so like our county teams, we won the county championship by 60. Like it was just not even fair. And so
Holy
basketball is
shit.
my love. I love it because I mean, it's like, did y'all ever play video games and like play against the bots on easy mode. Like it's way more fun when you do it that way. And so like that was high school basketball for me. Like when I talk to other people, they like tell me about these intense games. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't us. Like my junior year, we won the county championship. I think it was like 85-20 or something like crazy. Like these teams just sucked. And so like basketball is really fun like that when you can score 30 a game and not have to worry. But then I went to try to go like practice and talk to some D2 coaches. And I wasn't D1 good enough. And just like when you see the talent level, like from high school, it wasn't fun. I realized that I would be the no point scorer kid there. And that's not happening. So went to UAB, went to engineering school and did the nerdy route instead. And that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome. All right. I got to ask you then, is it still too raw to discuss the Winona game?
Oh, no. I was, so first off, Max Prep says that number wrong. It was bad. That number is wrong though.
I read the AL.com article on the game.
Oh, then your final might be right, but it was bad. So have you ever heard
research?
This is what I need, Corbie. I
So-
need to understand what happens in a locker room during a game at halftime when you're losing 80-28.
No, I got you. All right. So first off, we got to the game 45 minutes late. So we show up and they're already warming up.
Oh my
Okay.
We were not late. They were early. We had started the game early. So we start off the game with a technical. That's always never fun. Also, in your notes, I don't know if it says this, Winona High School is Alabama's equivalent to like a modern day. Winona, listen to this. They had won back-to-back state championships. This was our first year ever going to the state playoffs. We see Winona. Their point guard is Justin Coleman, who played at Alabama, transferred to Arizona, and scored 40 on Gonzaga. I had to guard that kid. What am I going to do? All right.
Do you still dream about Justin Coleman?
Oh no. So all starters came out at halftime. We all came out at halftime. We played freshmen the whole second half.
Gotcha.
Just like let them get experience, which one of the freshmen went on to play football at Duke. Like he's a very talented kid, but at the time he was a freshman, and they left Justin Coleman in for the entire game, which they had to play the next night, and they lost the next night because Justin Coleman sprained his ankle at the end of our game.
Oh
So-
man.
I was like, listen, you could have had a 4-peat if just you would have calmed down on me. I would listen. I just wanted my 20 and I just wanted to go home. I knew we were going to lose. And I don't know if it showed my stats. I played pretty okay. Like
You were the third leading scorer in that game.
That's what I'm talking about. And I only played
For your
half the
team.
game.
That's pretty good. Oh,
Yeah, for his team.
I thought it was
58.
third leading score for the game.
No, for his
No. Third leading scorer of the game scored more than our team probably.
Yeah. No, you guys put up something in the 50s. It's all right. Yeah. So I did. And then I went and looked into Justin Coleman. I just started to follow down the rabbit hole of what happened based off this game. And I think the funniest part is I went to go find anything on your basketball program from your senior year in high school.
There's
Did
no.
you guys play? I didn't see a single thing.
Yeah, when I tell you our school is so small, like I don't think that there's stats for these things. Like I have a 2,000 point ball, and I don't even know if I scored 2,000. Like I think they were just like, "Hey, Corbie played pretty good over his career. Like let's write 2,000 on it." I'm like, "Thanks, coach."
Feels right.
I just can't imagine that I scored 2,000 points. Like that's a lot of basketball points.
It is a lot.
They're like, "Yeah."
So they're just
listen,
guessing for you.
They're like,
Totally.
"You played a lot of games. And you played pretty decent in most of them. Here you go." And I was like, "I appreciate it, but I don't even know where the ball is. Like I don't have it. There's no telling."
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I just had to give you a little bit of guff over that one, but it is good to hear it, man. You had more game than any of us did. This guy's
Fact.
got a little bit of game in him. This guy's
Hey.
bigger than me, so he's got a little bit. I might be
Listen,
the worst basketball player.
It doesn't
ever.
stop either. These losses don't stop. I'm in a men's league currently in Birmingham, and Eric Bledsoe has a team. Like, I don't know. What do you do? Just get bored and go play men's leagues on Thursdays? We played against a team of all international players who have not lost a basketball game. It's tracked because Birmingham has like some like men's league record tracker. They haven't lost a game in 5 years, and we had to play them this last Thursday. And I was like, I don't even want to show up. I'm like, I don't want to play basketball against y'all. And yeah, they dismantled. They beat us by like 45. And I was like, cool. That was fun, guys. I'm gonna go home and cry myself to sleep as a grown man at this point. Like I had enough of those in high school.
At least you're still getting running.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I don't know the last time any of us played.
Full court, like
We're
up,
too
run up
damn
and down
old.
the court. Not a
Yeah,
chance.
too damn old for that shit.
20 years ago.
Yeah, no shit. We're probably old enough to be your dad, almost. FYI.
We're not that old.
Yeah, we are.
We'll be celebrating our 40th birthdays in Vegas in August. So that gives you a
nice.
sense of us. That's awesome. Okay. All right. We'll move on from Justin Coleman. So you've been running a Discord now for 4+ years, if I have my math right here. So that puts you January 2019 when you launched it. If I'm doing my math right, from your illustrious high school basketball career, combined with your information in the About Me, you're going into your last semester of college when you launch?
Correct. Yeah, I had just finished all of my like actual engineering classes. So senior year of engineering, like the last semester, you have just your capstone. And so I had just started second semester capstone, go from like 22-hour semesters to 4 hours. And so it becomes, all right, now I have way more available time throughout my week. And then also during that same semester was the spark of COVID. So that opened up a lot of free time. And so I was going to take over an engineering company from my granddad. That was kind of like the reason I went into engineering. I don't love engineering. I was going into pharmacy. I just like to challenge my brain. A pharmacist was like the hardest thing I could think to do. So I was in pharmacy school. Granddad was like, hey, be an engineer and you can take over a company. And I was like, cool. And then I had been doing this on the back end. So I started the Discord January 19, but I started the Twitter May of 18. And so I'd been like given it a shot for basically like 8-9 months, realized like the market is just miserable. There's a spot for somebody to come in who's smart relative and try to learn and try to like just be like a middleman for that information. And so, yeah, I was like, let me give it 5 months of try. And I've put in the 9 months of what I think is, I have more knowledge and I'm willing to do the work. So 5 months of try, I got to my graduation and I looked at my granddad and I was like, hey, like, this is working. I'm going to do this. And I still talk to him every day, but like, I have not looked back. I can't imagine being an engineer right now. So it's done well since day one. I've gotten very fortunate in that aspect. And there's been highs, there's been some recent lows, and there's been an interesting roller coaster to say the least.
So when you launched, you kind of had that fallback plan in your back pocket, so that you had a little bit of opportunity to trial it before you made the plunge.
Yeah, I knew that I was going to do this in some aspect, no matter what, whether that's as an engineer, like just there's several handicappers that, if you've seen on Twitter, that are full-time engineers and then do this on the end.
Right.
And that was like kind of my fallback. It's like, I enjoyed doing this process, but engineering was going to take precedence. I never thought that a community would be my full-time day-to-day, but as it continued to grow, like I realized that giving value to that instead of giving value to a company makes a lot more sense. Build something myself. And that's what we've done, and pick on as many people's brains as possible, because like I'll be the first one to tell you, like I've never gambled in my life until May 2018. I was not like somebody who just loved gambling. I probably the opposite. I come from very, very low beginnings. Like my family is not from anything of wealth. So like saving money is the only thing I've ever known. And so to start a gambling company, it's like, that's kind of counterintuitive, but my whole family owns businesses. So it was normal for me to want to use the math that I knew in something. And I just saw basically a niche that math is so involved in. So if it wasn't gambling, it would have been something like I would have been day trading stocks, or just something that involved using math and analysis to try to learn something with.
Did you pay for any of your college tuition with gambling winnings?
I did. I had a pretty good scholarship. And then I think that I paid for my housing my last 2 years, May 18. So year and a half, my housing.
That's awesome. That is genuinely awesome.
kudos.
We're to the point where we pay for frivolous little expenses with the winnings we're able to suck out. And that's about the extent of it. I don't think I've ever paid a bill in my life with gambling.
A
winnings.
couple GoPros, a couple microphones.
Yeah. That's about the extent of it. All right. So a few things that we really like that we see from your Discord. Let's start with the biggest one. You highlight transparency as your mission statement, essentially. We know from the multiple years experience the importance of transparency and determining touts to tail. When you started this, did you immediately have the awareness of who you wanted to be in the market and how you wanted to position yourself relative to everyone else?
Yeah, really good question. Yes, 100%. I wouldn't have started without a game plan. It's just kind of like how I'm wired. And so at the time, 2018, I don't know if y'all like knew gambling Twitter back then. There was one guy basically who ran gambling Twitter. His name was Cash Picks. I don't know if y'all remember Cash Picks at all, but he at the time was the only guy and had like 40,000 followers, had a really big pool for the time. I've met him at this point and he doesn't know anything, but basically you couldn't find, and Steam Chaser was another one. But couldn't find anything like on their past, present, and you could just kind of tell by what they were doing that they weren't smart. And I kind of wanted to like allow people, like, I know that I'm going to lose, and it was more of a journey. Like I want you to be able to see like me learn as I do this. And so that's where I started. I am very fortunate in the fact that somebody I've talked about in several podcasts and talked to one of y'all specifically, I think about, is Barry Horse, who now gives his information away on the Telegram. But Barry reached out to me within my first month of starting this, I believe, and just was like kind of a stickler on like the idea of learn everything you can from everyone you can and share that experience is 100 times more valuable than being like, hey, I'm the best, listen to me. And it's because like it's so much easier to be personable when I'm not telling you what to do, I'm telling you what I did and what worked for me. And that's what I've always tried to do. It's like I'm transparent to a fault, not because I want to market that transparency. I'm transparent to a fault because I know that I'm going to lose. And like I don't want to make you think I am, because if so, you're going to join something that you're going to instantly leave because I'm going to lose. Like I think that's why I've had such a good Discord like retention, is because people that join stay because they didn't join to try to win, they joined to join the ride. Like, and that's kind of been the journey of this. I think I'm not sure if any of you are on like the OGs tab of the Discord, but I think at this point we have like 150 people that have been in the Discord for longer than 2.5 years, which is the number that I am like the most proud of. And it's like, okay, these people have seen me. I bought my first house and these people were in my Discord. Like, that's just like, it's so crazy. Cause like at this point I'm 26, like still not old, I know, but like I've grown a lot. And so it's just like that journey is the payment. It's not me winning all the time. It's the journey and the knowledge and the things that I'm trying to provide like every day to be better. Like as y'all have seen the projections and like the bots coming very soon, like these things are all magnitude steps up of well, I could have even imagined 3-4 years ago.
That's really impressive. And I think we've seen since we joined your Discord in September, even the changes that you're making and the things that you've got coming down the pipeline, which we've been really excited about. I certainly want to get to that more, but you said something really interesting to me that I wanted to follow up on. We have not been a part of gambling Twitter since 2018. We hopped on in the pandemic.
So
RJ
yeah,
and I when
Illinois got legal like as soon as COVID started, like March 2020. I think I looked it up the other day. And I even think it was 6 months, a year after that until I discovered gambling Twitter. And then I think it took me like 3 or 4 months to talk you into getting on Twitter. So yeah, we are certainly not gambling Twitter OGs by any means, but now it's something we interact with daily. More than not hourly. Yeah.
Far too often. So my question for you then is, because we don't have that history that you have, is how has the space changed over the last 4 years? Has it gotten crazier? Is it easier? Is it more controlled? Is it like, what do you feel about it?
Yeah, I my thoughts have changed a lot over the years. So at first, like 2018, 2019, it was very undersaturated. There was saturation, but the people who BS got instantly shunned out. And I think this idea of people not at this point kind of gets over exaggerated. Like, unless my feed is just perfect, like I don't ever see people doing like max bangers or like I don't actually see those things. And those people that you do, like, it's known that they're kind of BS. Like, it's not something, I don't think that the average person is like, oh man, he knows what he's talking about. Unless I'm just completely wrong. Like, I saw that Mikey Overs guy the other day doing like a 2-team parlay dance, and like no person types that into their phone and they're like, this is gonna hit. Like, it's just for entertainment. And so I think that the difference between then and now significantly is the two styles of bettors. There's entertainment bettors and there's professional bettors. The issue that I've had for years at this point, and I've very recently changed my entire opinion on this, is trying to please the entertainment crowd, because that's the marketability. Like, if you want to sell a business, sell a service in sports betting, you have to That's 85% of the crowd. And then I wanted to bring them to the sharp side, basically. But what I've understood very fast is like that sharp side of bettors, like the guys who think that they know things on gambling Twitter are the biggest douchebags you'll ever meet in your life.
You liked our
I don't want to
RAS
say
debate,
specific
didn't you?
name. What was that?
You liked our RAS debate, didn't you?
So actually, I've talked to Ed, and they're very nice guys. And I do think that their standard is too high to be a social platform. Like I think that they probably think too high of themselves. But I will say, great guy, great team. Like I know that their inner workings work. It's just like you're selling $1,000 product to people on Twitter. Like I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. But RAS aside, I think RAS has their marketability. I think they're great. They move the market. I have friends that work in Circa, and I've watched them move the market. Like I know what they do is trusted by professionals. I have bigger issues with like the people who look down on touts and look down on like these things, and they don't give like any information. That I'm not gonna name any names because then it's just gonna start a war. But like there's a million people who like I can go on Twitter right now and show you. Like they just, I mean, go look at any of my replies. You can find somebody who's just talking shit to talk shit, and like they have no context to their shit. Like they just talk. And I've learned very recently, like these guys don't make the money that you are assuming they make. Like I have guys in the Discord who just arbitrage and just EV bet and play into accounts, play into boosts, and made more money last year than this one person that, and very specific that I have in my faith. I was given this guy's tax returns. I know for a fact how much money he made, and I know that this guy made more money. And how I got him, don't ask. I won't go into details of who it is. Sure. I know 100%. He came to me talking shit, and it's just like, understand your worth. Like RAS would never talk shit to somebody because they know that in the end of the day, what they're doing is a business outside of Twitter. And these other guys are just live for Twitter. If you want to see that debate, RAS is great, but what isn't great related to them is their Discord. Like that is every person that talks in that is the people that I am talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I just shut it off.
Yeah. We have the RAS Discord.
Yeah. That's
just go
though.
just go in the RAS Discord.
Go ahead, Corbie. Sorry.
Go in that Discord, go to the top right of your screen, click search, and then search my name. And then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. So real quick to follow up on that, you mentioned like RAS specifically, like obviously they have a premium product, right? And they're getting to that entertainment value with bringing on Adam, et cetera, right? Trying to create the content to get a larger pool, I imagine, is the play there. Where do you see yourself and how you market to create a bigger pool? Is it in the gambling Twitter space or with doing the other kind of podcast spots or show spots, or what would you say is the number one driver for growth?
Yeah, it's changed in the last very recent. I'm sure y'all have seen the change, but I went from a guy who tried to make his opinion the value entertainment of this all and a community to kind of bring that together. So my thought was, if I can keep the margin low enough, the cost low enough, and I can make the average person money, then that's a fair risk reward. Like you understand that I provide analysis, yada, yada, you know the basis, but basically create a community that brings that secondary value, and people stay because they enjoy the sense of community. Very recently, I've hated that idea because it like, as you can imagine, my entire life in terms of income swings on the ability to do good and bad in a month-to-month basis. And so that's not a fun life to live by any means. I mean, I can't complain too much, but like
stressful though, right?
Yeah, it's stress. And so now it's just, how can I provide undeniable value to everybody? And that's kind of what these projections have been. So like the first step was projections. Now every single day, everything that I work on in the back end is shown on the front end, and you can do whatever you want with it. Like if you want to set projections to 8% edge, which there's no way that I have an 8% edge on the market. So that means my number is probably wrong. So if you wanted to set it on 8% edge and fade every time that my number is over 8%, by all means, do whatever you want. If you want to set it on 3% and you think, oh, Corbie doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, every time he thinks he has an edge, I'm going to fade it. By all means, do whatever you want. I'm just giving you my numbers. And then the back end every day, I'm adjusting and moving stuff. And I have a randomizer, so it can't be reverse engineered. It's not possible. And so I just move my numbers and adjust weights, frequencies, and people can use that however they please. And then the next case would be DFS, which I know y'all talked about Prize Picks for a minute. But I think the DFS has promo spots, and I know that's what y'all talked about. A great value add to the person is a promo spot or a bot that will just do all the effort for you. Like my bot literally says, like, hey, take this, put it in if you want to. If you don't. We don't care. It's just the best things to put in. And here's the EV on them. Do whatever you want. We don't care. And then the final one, which I'm sure y'all saw the beta, it'll be out. It's supposed to be out on Saturday, but it's taken a lot of effort. The beta or the EV bot is going to be, in my opinion, the end all be all. Like I undeniably confident that this will be the best product that is in all of Twitter. And it has been every ounce of effort. Like I'm sure y'all, like I haven't tweeted in like a month. Like this takes my every single day. So basically, it has like I think 30 sports books connected at this point, and
Wow.
it just points out the Rotten Tomatoes. So like and then it does all the math, finds the VIG free EV. It'll tell you the EV. I've built out basically like a Kelly criterion. So it'll tell you like what unit staking per like to bet. But it's not Kelly. It's what I think is optimized Kelly. And it's just an equation I made. So it's probably wrong. But again, like do whatever you want with it. Like it's the idea is that I am not right. I am a kid who has an Einstein painting behind him. Like I don't know what I'm doing. And so my only goal is to take everything I've learned and push it to you with minimal work. And so that's what these bots are. These bots are made so that a notification pops on your phone. It says, hey, take Karl Anthony Towns over 20.5 points minus 110. The entire market thinks it should be 23, or don't. We're not going to track it. We don't care what you do. By all means, it's just available. And that's the goal now.
So, out of the three of us, Corbie, I think I am the most excited about what you're doing, especially with the bot. Like I've been hyping that up. I killed it in college basketball when that first came out. Absolutely love that tool. But I want to back up a little bit and talk about, can you tell us a little bit about how you started that EV with the college basketball and the projections, and tell us a little bit about who Alan is, because I see you refer to Alan all the time. And then also with your projections in baseball, are these, and I don't want to throw too many questions at you, but the projections in baseball, are those your own data that you set? Is everything your own and you just plug it in and then the bot releases it? And then will that be the same for the new tool?
Six questions in a row. Answer them all in order.
No, you're good. The first one I have a rebuttal question about, because I just don't know what you mean in particular. So when you say college basketball, how did I start that? Do you mean like
you first released it during college basketball, right? The bot that did the projections.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the beginning process of that, like the creation of it?
Okay. Yeah. So first, Alan is a guy that I hired to do all the stuff while I sleep so that I can sleep. Alan lives in Bangladesh. He's a Canadian born, lives in Bangladesh. So time doesn't overlap. I tell him what I've done at noon. He tells me what he's done at midnight, and I get to go to sleep. That's why Alan's the best, because when I wake up, there's 7 hours worth of work that's just been done. And awesome. Also, I am miserable. Like, listen, I'll be the first person to tell you, I have a mechanical engineering degree, not computer. So like I mess up so much. Like I'm not good at this. And then I have a podcast halfway through the day. And then so Alan cleans up most everything I do. I would say that I'm like the brains. Like I take this notebook and I write, like, I don't know if this is shown, but like I write the ideas, and then Alan just makes those come to life while I sleep. That's why I shout out Alan, because your brain can only get you so far. It's a Nikola Tesla type thing. It's like Tesla thought of everything in life, but he was never able to build it because he just was a thinker. And that's kind of me. I can't build stuff. So that's Alan. Basketball projections have always been a thing. In the back end, that's how I bet basketball. They're just projected numbers. And then we automated the number. So like I would manually input everything every night. And that's where I was like losing sleep. And some days I wouldn't post projections on Discord, and some days I would. It'd be this really long sheet that I manually typed all the time, because for a couple of reasons, like I didn't want to share my exact numbers, and I just had to manually input all of it. And so Alan came in, he automated everything that I was looking for in a system through Python and scraped it over to a Google Sheet. So if we work on the back end in Python, it'll just automate over to the Google Sheet. And then the EV percentage is kind of like we've talked about this on, I think, in Discord before, but the EV percentage is kind of like a finicky thing. So like it's all relative to what do you consider EV? Like is that anything past 0 VIG? And so what I made it is what I believe is the best chance to win. So like I just add weights all the time. Like I don't think home court advantage in college basketball is as serious as people give it. After my numbers have adjusted to that, I also add a weight towards like significance of home court advantage. Or in baseball, I'm trying to think of one I have right now. I have park factors down a little bit. Like you'll see the Rockies are always bets on the under because it'll be like 13.5. And I'm like, there's no game this should be projected to be 13.5 runs. So I just have my own weights in the background, and those weights create the EV basically. And so those are the things that I change, because you see, like I only bet like 1 or 2 games a day. And so like the bot might have 6 plays, but then my weighting on the back end is what makes there not be 6 plays. It's me going through and be like, okay, like I don't want to play a pitcher whose stuff plus is greater than this because no pitcher's ever been greater than that. He's due for regression or things like that. Just adding manual weights in the back end to make numbers make sense, because there's so many just like manual input things. Like you can't just have a number that you go off of and bet the opening line. Like JD Martinez was out today for the Dodgers, and that was not known. Like he was hurt, but like it wasn't known. And so that's why that number was off. But I didn't catch that news at all. And so my weight was just JD is in, JD's out. And I probably shouldn't have bet with JD out. And yet I did, because I didn't catch that.
Awesome. Thanks for answering that. Well said. Well said. Appreciate that.
So was the CBB bot sort of a prequel to what you were building out here with the EV tool, or is it a completely separate entity entirely?
It's separate. So the projections bot, which projections is the easiest way to say that, I would assume, will be made for all sports. All sports. Let me rephrase that. The NFL,
fishing.
Be,
All sports.
The NFL, there will
European
definitely
darts
be one.
are coming.
The NFL, there will be one, and it will never get pinged. The NFL is too sharp. College football, there will be one, and it's going to kick my ass every single week because so many variables that change. The NBA, there will be one, and it's ready. I just didn't release it because it takes Alan like 30 hours to do, and when he's done, the playoffs will be over. So didn't worry about that. NHL, there'll be one, same idea. It's playoffs already, so we're just going to wait till next year. College basketball, it'll be refreshed by next year. And then I'm really trying to get, and I don't know if y'all went through this degenerate phase with me, but Korean baseball. I think Korean baseball is a very beatable market. If you watch our intro video, Dane, I'm sure you saw Dane, me and Dane, that was a good time back in the day. Dane is a funny story. That's my guy, but I have a funny story on Dane. I actually talked about it when you said the intro thing. I had never met Dane in my life. I met him for the first time last year at Circa because he got a job there. He was in my Discord, and that, like, he became like my head assistant for multiple years, like paid to be and I had never met this kid. He was in my Discord, and he would DM people, and like as they joined, I don't know how I figured out like who joined, but he would be like, hey, like if you need anything, message me. Like don't ask Corbie, like he's super busy. Message me. And one day I just like looked, and my retention was like 9, like for like 2 months straight, nobody had left. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And one of my friends joined, and Dane DM'd him, and I was like, it's you. I figured it out. So like that's why he did the intro video. Like I have no affiliation to Dane. He was at Ohio State. I was at UAB. And kid is very smart. He works for Fanatics now doing odds. So he
oh really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Ohio.
Was that your first time meeting him when he interviewed you?
Yeah, that interview was the first time.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. I actually like that. I thought you guys worked together at the time. Like you guys talked like you were close.
Yeah, he I text Dane probably more than I text like my mom. Super smart kid. I think in the next, I would say year, I think Dane will be the originator for boxing and UFC lines in Ohio. He's a really sharp kid. Just has to get his foot in the door in the industry because nobody wants to trust that kid for that. Say that he gave me Garcia by decision on Saturday, and we saw how that worked out. So I don't know about all that.
So who else is on your team? How many people are you working with? Is that it?
Dane is kind of off and on because he has a job now. He works for Fanatics. He's doing his thing. I just pick his brain. It's like when you find it's really hard to find somebody who just like meshes with the things that you were trying to work on and facilitate in life, especially like most of my friends are betting degenerate. Like they're not betting with like knowledge at all. So I wouldn't say he's as much on the team. Then there's Alan, and then like other programmers, and then like just like marketing people, but I don't ever use them. So I would say like 3 or 4 or 5 people, but mostly Alan. Alan's kind of he's like my first full-time hire. Like Alan works too much at this point, and I appreciate it, but hope to get bigger. All of the creative and all of the numbers are all me, and then it's just other people to ease my life, and so that I don't have to focus on other things. Like I'm the worst tweeter in history. I get like 4 likes on my tweets nowadays because I just it's such a consistency thing, and I don't do. And like YouTube videos, when you're probably recording, you probably saw me start and restart YouTube videos like 6 different times because I just did not want to edit those damn videos, and so stop those again. I have a full setup and an office to make YouTube videos, and I have not done it.
I did look through your YouTube page as well. That's how I found the About Me section.
Yeah, that's how I found it. And I was like, oh, he's not really making these videos anymore. That's why I was kind of, prodding about how you are adding your growth to the channel. It's like what your main driver is. So yeah, interesting.
No. Are you friends with Dave Koken?
I've never met Dave, but I have interacted with Dave a ton. Man, how was the first time we met Dave? We DM each other a lot. I'm on his like subscription thing. He gave me access. I don't really look at it. It's an email, so I don't 26, I don't check emails, but yeah, we talk about I think that I met him through a information leak. He knew something and he wanted to tell me. I don't know why he wanted to tell me, but it's kind of how this industry works. Is like if you have something, you tell people that you want to get information from in the future. So he told me about, man, I think it was COVID year, Juan Soto opening day. Juan Soto was sick and he didn't play versus Garrett Cole. I think that he had that Juan Soto news. If I remember that right, then man, wow. I'm a genius. But yeah. I think that was it. And so we bet Yankees first 5. It got rained out, didn't even count. He didn't play the first 3 innings, then he got rained out. But I think that's what Dave gave me. But yeah, since then, mutual respect. He gives me information, I give him information. And I know nothing about Dave because I think I'm just too young for that. But it seems like he's kind of like an old-timey important figure. And so Dave's a funny guy.
Super old school, right? Like we were reflecting on like how we even found you, and we're pretty sure it was through Dave Koken. So that's why we asked like how you guys have been connected before.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident it was information.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've been a fan of his for a while. So when you get an endorsement from someone like you said, who's been around for as long as they have, it's something to take seriously. And that's where we came into you from the outside.
Yeah, and I'll give Dave a shout out because I will say there's not many people that like truly care about humans in this industry. Dave wished me happy birthday like the last 2 years, and how anybody knows my birthday, I literally have no clue. I have no clue I knows my birthday, but he's told me happy birthday the last 2 years, which I thought meant a lot. Like again, you had to go out of his way to either know my birthday or like it's not on my Twitter, I don't think. And so nice guy. Like there's not many people I've had genuine conversation with, and he's definitely one of them.
That's awesome. Yeah. Information-based business, my man. Like obviously Dave Koken's going to find that intel. So no surprise there.
That's awesome. All right. So you've been doing this for 4 years. You got a bunch of stuff coming up. Your growth from when you started the Discord, I believe you said was 30 people. I don't want you to necessarily tell me what your numbers are today, but have you had periods throughout the 4 years where your subscriber numbers were getting to the point where you guys were moving lines? Or because we had periods of that we experienced, right?
Yeah.
Over the first few months. Is that
college basketball?
norm? Yeah, it was college basketball, December.
Yeah. So this is a weird debate. I am iffy. I think that yes, people have the ability to move lines. I think that it's a lot easier than you would imagine in overnights, which is what I was betting at college basketball at the time. Right. Overnight college basketball totals,
low limits
of anything. Yeah. And so I was moving those lines, like 100%. I was moving those lines. But the issue is, it wasn't like, it's not me, it's not you. It's somebody who has a flagged account that's betting into these. So like I bet everything offshore, or not offshore, off screen. As y'all have probably seen the tickets, like I am not moving lines. I could bet an infinite amount of money and no one would see it. Like it's in local books that don't go to the market. Like they just do their own thing. So people like think that that's the problem. That's not the problem. And it's like one thing that Rash tries to do is like limit the books that people can use. It's an impossible game to try to play. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we've dealt with that issue. There were some funny solutions that y'all probably saw in your starting times, not from me. From a partner of mine who thought it was a good idea to just play any number at any point. But no, I think like looking back, it's all relative. Like I think that if you can do a setup and go correctly and you can get most people down on a correct number, then it's not a bad thing. But opening lines do fluctuate a ton. And I think for me, it's the only way for me to almost guarantee profitability. And so like if I can get 70% of people in the right spot, then by all means, and those 30% of people, like again, I have my DMs are open at all times. Like I'm on Discord 20 hours a day. Like if you have an issue, feel free to DM me and like I'll give you every dollar you've ever gotten back. Like I don't care. That's not the issue here. And so it will always be an issue, no matter what market is, no matter what it is, unless like baseball, you're not going to move a market unless you're Barry Horse, which still only moves like 6 cents. College football, you can if you bet on Monday. College basketball, always going to move because the market knows nothing about college basketball totals. They're miserable, and the fact that I didn't do good pisses me off this year because I know that I can beat that market. But like Korean baseball, we moved a line 100 cents in Korean baseball, and I still thought that there was value on the side that we bet on. And so it's all relative to the size of the market overall, I would say.
Well, we did notice, like in the small ones, and I think we would agree that it was the college basketball overnights that we tended to bet into that were the hardest to catch during that period. You've kind of addressed this before, but that was a pretty challenging period for you personally, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. The main thing for me is like I hold my head high on the idea that I like imagine the thing that you just like, you're the best at. And every day you get up and you do the best. And then at night you just get like kicked straight to the curb and then you got to get up and do it again. And it's like every day it was that for like quite some time. Like I had a really bad start to college basketball. I'm sure y'all witnessed it, but like the market still respected what we were doing. And like, I knew like, even just if you watch the outcomes of the games, like over a simulation that those would be profitable. And I know that they are. I have the utmost confidence in that, but yeah, it was a learning point for me, and it's kind of what made me want to get into this idea of like bringing undeniable value, because there is a thought of value or not whenever you're giving your opinion. But if you can provide undeniable value, then there'll be no debate. Like that's kind of what has sparked this like projections thing, and I brought someone on to try to increase volume to further bring undeniable value, and just try to do what I can to make the community see what we're building, even through the dark days, which are going to come. It's gambling. Like at the end of the day, if you're worried about like those kind of things, then you're probably not betting enough volume, or you're betting too much money on one specific game, which shout out to the EV bot. Hopefully we'll fix that. I think I have 27 pending wagers tonight, and it's been fun. I've never bet like that. And so I've been enjoying it.
Wow. Is that like all on baseball, or is it?
No, it was it's like it's everything. Like I think I have the biggest EV today was Karl Anthony Towns over 20.5 points, I think. If Fliff, I don't know if you've heard of this app.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shout them out.
Very controversial right now, right?
I'm not sure about that. But it's a miserable app. It's
okay.
I mean, like they pay out instantly. Like, it's bank transfer. I've been betting on it for a month, so don't take everything with a grain of salt. Sure. But like I've put in a lot of money, taken out a lot of money to see how easy it is. Feels easy. It seems easy. All the UI seems great. The only thing that's not great is their lines are absolutely trash. Like, I don't know what they're doing. And at first I thought maybe it was like a ploy to get people in, but the only people that would see that is like people that know what they're doing, like trying to arb out. Like I'm catching like Oviendo's strikeout props at 5.5 today were -110, and the whole market was 165. I don't know what y'all are doing around here, but I appreciate it. So it's just things like that. I think the EV bot will catch those until they don't, and when Fliff decides to stop doing that, the volume will shoot down significantly. But as of right now, like it's betting alternate team totals, it's betting like everything that's on Fliff. Every single number is wrong. So like if they made imagine they have markets for everything. So like if they have the thing that they always mess up is alternate full game totals. So like if they have the Dodgers at 8 juiced down, they're juiced up 9 will be like plus 170, which just is not right. It's only one run, and it's like, hey guys, that's not right. So basically it gets bet every single day. But it's been interesting because I've never been in a legal state, so I've never seen like how many secondary markets there are. I've always been betting into locals, where the furthest secondary market I can go is probably no run first inning. And so to be able to bet into like Carl Anthony Town assists. It's been really fun.
This guy can talk to you about every market that's out there.
Do we even get Fliff?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I would have it.
Is that a legal sports book or is it a DFS kind of prize pick situation?
It's a sweepstakes sports book. It's legal like almost everywhere. And I said this in Discord the other day, but I am not an advocate for anything, and I'm not telling you what to do. But I will say there are things that allow you to move your VPN to other places, and sweepstakes websites do not stop this. So there are ways to play everything. And so it's not legal in Alabama. We'll say that.
Gotcha.
I drive to Georgia every day.
So, right. So what impact then does the release of all these tools have on quantity of plays you're giving out as officials or unofficials?
0. That will stay the same. It's not fair for me to post an EV bet as an official play. Like only people with specific guidelines and parameters could get that. So it's actually interesting. I would love y'all's opinion and feedback. I have I'm just the guy that built it. I don't know what I'm going to do with marketing on this. So I am undeniably confident, like could throw up of confidence that this is the greatest thing that will that the average person there's better things obviously, but like for the average person to just change their way of betting to this style and use this tool that is going to do this thing, I feel the utmost confidence. Great. So I've considered 2 routes. Like the first one, obviously put it behind a paywall. It's the easiest one to do. It's what OddsJam does. It's what, what's that other company? DG Fantasy, I think they also do it. And so like, it's a way. But my thought is like, I have a guy that I love. His name's Alex Hormozy. If you're a business guys, look up Alex Hormozy. He's amazing. He's the greatest impact in my business life ever. I have his book right here. It's holding up my mic. He says like, if you give undeniable value, if you just punch of value, at some point someone is going to come back. And so I think that I'm going to give this EV bot away for free. I think the beta is going to turn into a community that's just free. And then the idea is like, hey, you're going to lose accounts if you just bet into stale numbers in sports books at all times. Like that's the only thing you bet, you will lose your accounts. So how do you fix that? You have to bet major market games. That's the only way that these teams will keep you. And it's like, okay, well, if you've made money doing this and now you need this, I have this. And so if you want like this community, like tell your friends, tell your family, like everybody join this, because I do believe that everyone can see value in this. Not everybody can see value in this. I would understand people who don't want to see projections every day. They're kind of boring. And so the idea is like, if you found enough value in this, feel free to come to this. And it'd just be kind of like a funnel towards what I've been building out. And so officials will stay the same. Projections will stay the same. That'll be an entity of itself. And then the EV bot and the DFS bot will be another entity. The issue is, as you can imagine, it's cost me a lot of time and a lot of money to build. So that's kind of the worry. And so like the idea is, if this actually does get circulated to like friends and family and like actually can build a sustainable following by itself, then by all means, I'll do that. The issue is gambling doesn't really do that. Like that's how most business works. But people don't want to tell their friends about gambling stuff. So like it really doesn't happen as much as you would think. So if there's no like recurring circulation to make this bigger, then it will probably become a paywall, just 2 separate paywalls. And then the people, like anyone who's been in the original like Discord will just have like a cross link that's like $5 or something, just to say like, hey, like understand that you are actually like going to something else. This isn't the same entity. But like, I don't care to make money from the people inside of the Discord currently.
So you feel this tool is completely separate from the Discord community? You're treating these as 2 separate businesses?
I was going to do it as the same Discord, but I think that there's 2 types of people who bet in the major markets and then people who bet in the secondary markets. There's a lot of correlation there, but I don't think it's as much as most people would think. The outstanding example is if you go look at the Prize Picks or DFS tool right now, that tool is, I think, one of the best in the market of DFS, and it has 26 people in the live ping, which is like relative to 890 people, not a lot. And so it's like, okay, well then obviously these people aren't here for that. They're here for the bets, which is what they signed up for. So it makes sense. So I just don't think the correlation is there. But to ensure, I'm having a 1-month beta. Like the day it releases, like everyone can come and you can look at it and touch it, and you can use it. You can do whatever you want. And so if there's correlation enough then, and like, so I posted the beta in Discord. I'm sure y'all saw the like the ping for everyone, and it had like 45 signups to the beta. And it's like, okay, well, this isn't where I'm going to get my volume, I guess. And it's just not how it happens. So I think that it'll probably be a different entity, but have like a pipeline to connect. Like anybody who if somebody's issue is payment to get from the Discord of betting to the Discord of EV, by all means, I will solve that. That's not an issue. But like I just think that it would be dumb to correlate the two, because if to get the EV, you had to pay the price to get the wagers, EV people wouldn't come. And then to get the wagers, you had to pay the price for also the EV, the wager people wouldn't come, because each of them have their own individual costs, is my thought. But again, I'm just the guy building it out. I don't know yet. We're going to see how the market treats it, see how people enjoy the beta. The hope with the beta is that people come in, they use it for a week, they absolutely love it. They tell their friends, the beta doubles in size because they told one friend. And then next week it doubles in size, and then we have 2,000 people, and that becomes a lot easier to figure out what I'm going to do with it.
So
That's exciting.
I just have a real quick question. So I found it really interesting how you went from, you only bet a couple games a day to now with this new tool, you said you had 27 wagers. Is that right? Today? Yeah. So how do you go from 2 to 27?
Kurt's mouth is watering.
Yeah, this is right up my alley.
So staking
I bet like 50 wagers a day at least.
So staking is completely different. I would say for most people to bet, you need to bet more wagers and things that you have value on, because like you're not going to see the variance turn down any, like if you bet one game a day for all of baseball season, like you're not going to see your true sample size probably, unless you have like an undeniable edge. And so like you need to have that kind of volume, but the issue is like you can't just push bad volume. And so it's like if you have good volume, by all means, pump it out. And so like this bot, like it's good volume. Like you know that the rest of the market sees this game at 55% and you can get it at 50%. You know that that's good volume. Like, and so it becomes easy. It's two completely different stakes. Like I bet I ended up getting 2 units down on the Dodgers today. I think over those 27 bets, I have like 3.1 or something. Like it's all a form of Kelly criterion, but it's all such small stake that like no one game makes or breaks the portfolio by any means.
What are we going to see? What is it going to look like? Is it going to be like the Prize Pick spot and all that in the Discord right now?
Yeah, I hope to have it cleaned up. The issue with Alan is he is a nerd, which is a great thing, except for he just like doesn't have the mental, I wouldn't say capacity because he does, but like he doesn't think about like the optimization of like the eyeballs. But it should look kind of like that. I just hope that it looks better. The goal would be basically it's a live feed. So every 10 seconds it auto refreshes, and if it'll be sportsbook, it will have an at. So like if you just like drop down, click every sportsbook you have, and it will connect you to that at. So like at DraftKings, wager, EV percentage, staking on it. And so it'll just be at DraftKings, which would at you because you're in the DraftKings mentions. Yeah. At DraftKings, bet Karl Anthony Towns over 20. It's a 4% EV. You should bet 0.26% of your bankroll is the hope.
Oh my God. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So it's basically just going to be like a constant feed of market fluctuations compared to your projections.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that are tracked in the background, just like without going into like nerdness, which I'm sure y'all have kind of learned this at this point, but like a couple things like Circa and Pinnacle are the two best sportsbooks in the world. So those are blended different than all the other sportsbooks lines. And then
to get your consensus.
Yeah. So my consensus is Corbie's consensus. Like I've blended Circa and Pinnacle, and I've blended all the rest. And it is my consensus. And then I added a weight to so like if the market width is larger than like X%, there's an additional weight added to it. So it's like all of these things to try to get like a true EV percentage. So at times they might seem like why would you bet into a 2% EV? Like why would that even pop up on my feed? But it's like is as true of 2% as it can possibly be, because I've messed around with these for way too long.
This is fascinating. I'm super excited now, more so than ever.
I still just want Corbie to tell me what to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, you're talking about, you have two very different customer personas. Like you're looking at 3 very different customer personas right in front of you here. So yeah, happy to try it out and give you feedback.
Yeah, that's the goal. I had a meeting with a guy who's a marketing guy, and he was like, the best thing that you can do is have people they use it, make money, and then they be your marketing. And I was like, and that's why I made the beta. Is like, I completely agree. I think that if it's good enough, people will come, and that's the goal of this. Is like, and if it's not, then by all means, like, Alan's got some more work to do, not me. I'm going to sleep. But
have you planned any marketing, like genuine marketing for this?
I've not. I'm the worst marketer you've ever seen. I've fixed the website. I got help from my brother who messaged you about like the whole business thing. My brother's the best marketer I've ever met in my life. He's grown a sweet tea company to like outrageous numbers. Like he could sell water to a speedboat. Like he's good at that, but his time has not come. Also, like in traditional marketing, you have to get requested, like you have to get approved, and they don't approve gambling very fast. So I'm struggling with that. I have like what's that called? Partnerships with like not Prize Picks, but like Underdog and like all these other companies. And so like I can kind of like bottleneck off of their marketing. Like if you ever see an Underdog ad, I can just like figure out how they got through the loophole to get to that ad. And like, okay, your target audience is also my target audience, because if they use my thing, they're going to use you, because that's what my tool does. And so I think that'll help. But at the end of the day, I'm not a very good marketer. I'm just the guy that makes the stuff. And that's been my demise as of late.
Well, you've managed to find a way to grow a business quite substantially over the last 4 years. So kudos to that. That certainly shows some chops in the marketing realm. So that's great. All right, let's go ahead. Thank you for spending so much time with us today.
Of course,
I'm really grateful for this. Boys, do you have anything specific that you were hoping to follow up on regarding all this?
No, I'm just excited for the bot. I'm ready to
That's the
roll.
goal.
I'm ready to fire.
Every day I wake up and I hope that Alan tells me it's ready. All right, let me see what the message he sent me today. No, I thought this thing was done Saturday. I wouldn't have got the beta ready already if I didn't. He said,
I will
ping
DM.
You. He said, I'll ping you when it's done on the back end so we can plug it in. It's like, that doesn't give me no time frame at all, Alan. He said in the next couple of days, we'll have some demos ready for testing.
Nice.
So
Sweet.
that was today at 2 a.m. So I would hope like maybe this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I can't rush the guy. He's doing everything. He also is the one that works on the projections. So like if there's an issue, like I didn't realize that the home away splits were wrong on baseball. They have been all year and no one called it out. They were just backwards. So it's just like the H and the A. So he just had to swap out things like that. But no one even told me. I was like, guys, like, do y'all even use these things? Like, and so
I should have picked up on that, but I
look at it 3 times a day and I never noticed. So I don't even know who told me, but Alan fixes things like that. Or like now instead of win percent, it tells you the like line that we used to make the EV. So like Dodgers at 115 is a 3% EV. So that it's just easier to go look at it any moment in the day.
Cool.
That's exciting. All right. So to wrap things up here, just to lend a little perspective from our side of the aisle regarding your service and what you're doing. For those interested in getting involved, I think all 3 of us have been blown away and impressed not only by the plays that you're giving out, the professionalism that you've shown through the whole last several years, and even more recently, down to the value that you provide in the Discord that goes above and beyond just the picks. The fact that you guys have really built a community. I was excited to get involved in it. I'm still looking into getting into this poker thing, Corbie. Am I allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, by all means. We haven't had a game in quite some time because I built out a bot for that. So this is just a random tidbit. This never gets used, and it doesn't piss me off because by all means, like, do whatever you want. But this bot is literally better than the bot that is used like at real casinos. Like real casinos have those like wait lists, so you can like just hop on. And to use a casino, like if you've ever been to Vegas, like you have to sit around and just like wait for your name to get called up, and then you can go sit at the table. So this bot that we made is just that wait list, except for it sends you directly to a queue where you can talk to everybody who's in the game or like waiting. So like you could be like, hey guys, like how long until you're going to be out? And then that guy could be like, hey, probably 10 minutes. So then you don't have to be on your phone for 10 minutes, hop in, play. And Yeah, Alan made that too. That was just another idea of mine. But yeah, we haven't played in a minute. I'm hoping that with the beta becomes more people who want to play. Again, like I think it's an issue of I like to play poker. It's just like a really fun hobby of mine. And I thought that other people who bet on sports would also play poker. And it's not the correlation. People didn't come to the Discord to play poker. And so that's kind of been the issue. But I think with more volume, more people, like a beta, that will become a thing. And so like it's all based off numbers. Like I just don't think we have enough people to play right now. Because like we basically had like the same 6 or 7 people playing every day of the week. Shout out Yukon Puck. He lost so much money that I had to he's been in the Discord forever. I had to DM him and I was like, hey, you're not playing anymore. I understand that you're probably fine, but you're not playing anymore, which I never thought that I would have to do, but that's always fun. I can call him out because we're close enough to do that. But it was fun while it lasted.
But that's what's great about it. That's what's great about it. You guys have this community and it offers so much more than just picks. You're introducing these tools now to go along with it. I don't know if you have pricing out for the rest of the year, but I know that the price point we got in for the full year was very reasonable. And even at my level as a $50 unit better, that's great. Like I can totally see a year's value as long as you guys are breaking in. And I think that hopefully throughout the course of this conversation, some of those aspects of what you're able to offer are shining through.
I have a question for y'all. It's a pretty easy one, but if let's say hypothetically, I could make anything happen in this community, in this service, like what we can build is limitless. What would be your one want from a community? And like this doesn't have to be answered right now because it's a really hard question, but like I truly have built the things that I think, or like if I was a paying customer, like the only things that I would think I would want is like daily projections for all sports, a tool to bet DFS if I'm being a degenerate, a tool to bet volume if I want to bet volume. And those are the only 3 things that I can think of filling. But once we finish this EV bot, like I'm all ears for like the next project where I've added poker. I could add like a room where we all watch the game together. I don't know. I'm all ears for any idea.
Well, we're going to give you 3 different answers because we're 3 different personalities that makes this podcast. For me, it's all about the social aspect of this. That's the part when I joined the community, that's the differentiator. We've joined 4 or 5 different to trial. And that yours is the only one that really sticks with me. And it's not, you do a great job picking games, Corbie, but it's more than the picking games that made me want to stick around. So the social part of that, anything you guys do in that realm, you know, the other thing is just remembering like it's one small part of all our lives, right? So having the time to get in and do those things, I say that, but then at the end of the day, it doesn't really play out. I don't know. I think you've just answered what he wants, right?
Yeah, I want data.
Volume.
I want
Volume.
volume and data.
You don't care about the data.
Well,
You
yeah, I
want
do.
volume.
I look at the projection. I look at the projections every day.
Okay, so let's wrap up here. I think
Yeah, for sure.
we've taken enough time. Really excited for the projections you got coming. Anything you can do on the social side would play to me. What are you about?
As far as betting tools go, I would absolutely love to like be able to type in a market and like just have it kick back to me like the best line. So like for instance, like let's say I came to the tool and was like Karl Anthony Town assists. I would love to see like where the best market was for that. Right now, like I use like RotoWire feeds and like those type of things.
Covers.
They're
Right.
not
updated.
they're not
fast
real
enough.
time.
Yeah.
I use BetStamp to try to get like the best line. That's not updated like close to real time.
No, that stands
Um,
brutal.
So yeah, that would be like the ideal betting tool for me.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I think that logistically that makes sense. We have all the data. I would have to see how that works. I think that's very easy to add, just like from a spin-off of the EV tool. So I wrote that down. I'll look into that. As for projections, we're adding every sport that I can think of. So hopefully that helps. Like if you like, my goal is 2 people like you. Like if you wanted to bet NHL, I could not tell you 2 NHL players, but I've talked to people and I have people's numbers who I trust more than my own. They're not great. And so then I just add like 4, 5, 6 people's projections to an NHL model, let the model like pump out whatever number it wants, add weights, and just like then at least you have a baseline. You're like, okay, like all of the people that Corbie thinks knows a little bit all come out with this number. And then there's like, we're going to have at some point a bot that will track like EV over 4% has done like this. And then if it's like miserable, then just fade everything that it does. Or if it's great, then bet. Or just a kind of a justification of an opinion. Like if you think that the Oilers are going to win by 3 and then my numbers are like, hell yeah, bet it. Then by all means, that's the goal.
Cool. Perfect. All right, Corbie. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Appreciate it.
I'd love to talk to you again sometime. So
yeah, it was
been a blast.
It was fun. this is all I do. So at any time, like late at night, feel free. During the week, I do podcasts at BetUS. If you feel like watching the most boring as hell baseball shows, they're miserable. If you want to watch that, by all means. If not, then by all means. One of the guys on BetUS does a wrap every single Friday, and I have to sit through it. So that's that. But yeah, anytime I feel free to hop on. This was fun.
I hope we'll be friends moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my DMs are always open, so hit me up.